Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to Laura and Mike, who you may know better as Arengale and Kyrus. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. Welcome back to Varnhold's Lot, as we, once again, resume the adventures of the so-called heroes of Dunsward. When we left off last time, we took care of a few level ups, and for the most part, I ended up leaving things the way they were, with a few minor changes. We also started investigating a mysterious new arrival from Galt, a rebellious rabble-rouser who seems intent on stirring up some kind of trouble. Let's see if we can do something about that. Okay, so we need to meet with the fishermen, check on the granary, and have a chat with Ignash the Sorcerer. Sounds simple enough. Oh, I think I angled too far to the south. That's fine. We'll check the granary instead. The guard has been knocked senseless, but she's all right. They took the pitchforks, scythes, and flails from the barn. Anything that could be used as a weapon. That does not bode well. Alright, let's go have a chat with Ignash. An old man in a threadbare robe squints at you, fiddling with his matted beard. "What do you seek, soldier?" "Oh, I'm sorry. General, of course." "So, what'll it be? Spells, magic, secrets? Old Ignash can do anything, knows everything. I have wands and potions. I can tell you your fortune. It won't cost you much." You detect the sour stench of stale alcohol as the old man mumbles. "Who are you?" With a visible effort, the old man focuses his eyes on you. "Me, Ignash the Sorcerer. I worked for years in rain and snow, ne'er a beer and ne'er any dough. Then one sad day I got myself wasted, and suddenly the gift of magic I tasted. Now I wander with fortunes to tell and spells to sell." I get the impression that old Ignash here would get along pretty well with the zombie jester. "I am looking for a troublemaker who has been stirring the people to riot. Have you seen her?" "I saw her. Yes, I did. She picked my pockets clean. But it's all right. A pocket is not a belly. If they cut it, you can stitch it up and fill it again. But the things she stole won't be good for her. No, they won't. She's invited trouble upon herself. Silly girl." Interesting. "Tell me my fortune." The old man hides the money away and takes out a handful of bizarre dice with different numbers of sides and squiggly marks instead of numbers. He shakes the dice in his wrinkled, trembling hands, casts them, and studies the results for a long time, moving his lips in silence and quietly counting on his fingers. "Empyrean love awaits you. Happiness is passing close by. Be careful not to miss it." Neat. A drunk fortune cookie. "Show me your wares." "Here, look. Everything is real. Plenty of magic, but no tricks." Let's see here. Okay, looks like Ignash is a Pretty straightforward magic vendor. Lots of potions, lots of scrolls. Oh, let's grab that Dimension Door spell. We can add that to Cephal's spellbook. Ooh, lots of wands, too. Well, I don't think we need anything else from Ignash right now, so let's go have a chat with those fishermen. Down with the Tyrant.
It is done.
We will win. Up the revolution. Inspiring. Well, that covers all our leads, so where do we go from here? Ah, looks like we're headed back to the tavern. General, welcome. What will you have? I looked around, but haven't found the troublemaker yet. Do you have any news? She never appeared in the tavern again, but people are saying... You hear voices and the clanking of iron from outside. It looks like a mob has gathered near the tavern. You hear the familiar voices of your guards, and another voice ringing out, yelling sharp slogans about tyranny. Svelid turns pale and reaches for the crossbow she keeps hidden under the counter. It looks like you won't have to go looking for her after all. Come on, General, let's give it to these scoundrels. Well, all right then. Time to face the flames. I guess it couldn't hurt to hedge our bets here. The situation is growing heated. Varn's guards, their weapons drawn, stand opposite a group of settlers who are yelling revolutionary slogans. You see some of the local fishermen among them. There's a half-orc woman in the front row, wearing a bright cape and shaking her weapon. She's obviously not from around here. Down with tyranny! We will not be treated like cattle! You can't enslave us! Calm down. Now, noticing you, the guard sighs with relief. Here's Retcon, the general of his Grace Varn. I'm sure he will deal with your problems, so we can all go home peacefully. What's going on here? I am Leonta Michaud of the Revolutionary Crimson Swans of Galt. We have freed our own home from tyranny, and I will not stand by as your new feudal lord tramples the freedom of these people under his boots. Kings, barons, earls, ordinary people are like cattle to the nobility. We will not allow this new state to become yet another prison for the people who groan under the yoke of tyranny. We demand that Magar Varn relinquish his power, proclaim these lands a people's republic, and gather a constituent assembly. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Let's see what we can do here. I see that many of you are wearing Abadar's keys. Does the god of civilization approve of such uncivilized methods for solving problems? You're right. This doesn't seem right, drawing our weapons at the first sign of trouble. If we grabbed our knives every time there's a problem, what would happen? It wouldn't be a nice place to live, that's for sure. Citizens, don't listen to the tyrant's henchmen. Don't give up. Fight for your rights. Don't you see? So long as a sovereign rules over you, no one will care about your suffering. Your cows, your fields, your homes, all of this is at risk until you become your own masters. Down with the Baron. The time of the people has come. Yeah, I think we've got this. The Baron is not your enemy, and we don't need to stoop to violence. I will personally see that your troubles get taken care of. Aren't your hearts? Keep quiet. You've had your say. Folks, tie her up. Forgive us. We didn't mean any harm. This damn troublemaker played us for fools. Throw the snake in prison, and we'll just go home. But, come to think of it, please send us a doctor or a healing scroll. Our cows keep getting ill, and the Baron doesn't help or even reply. If it weren't for the cows, we wouldn't have caused any trouble. All right, so long. The fishermen exchange apprehensive looks. We'll go too, all right? We have some silly things written on our walls. We'll wash them off right away. That was easier than expected. Let's tie up some loose ends.
No stopping now.
Thank you for dealing with that wretch. She's right. I was struck dumb with fear when I heard those screams outside. It was just like when they trashed our tavern in Galt. The halfling pours herself a shot of something strong and gulps it down. She'd better not stick her nose in here again. I won't warn her. I'll fire my crossbow while she's still at the door. Fair enough. Alright, let's go see if Ignash has anything to say. Oh, I guess we could check on the fishermen, too. We'll clean this place up. Everything will be good as new. And nothing new here. Go, wherever you want. But you can't get away from your fate. No. Well, that's, ominous. Alright, let's go have a chat with Magar. We've got a couple of things we have to tell him. So, did you handle those troublemakers? On top of everything else, an uprising is just what we need. I heard that the owners of a tavern at Blackstone Ford are murdering their guests, though the source of information was highly unreliable. A passing bard who reeked of alcohol. We didn't clear the monsters out of these lands just so scoundrels could settle here. Let's check this bard's story the next time we pass this place. I've also handled the troublemakers. The people have calmed down, the rabble-rouser is in fetters. Brilliant, I expected nothing less. I'll draw up an order right away to help them with the cows. Of course, we won't go so far as to execute her, but keeping her in prison doesn't make any sense either. Let's take her to the border and give her the boot. Let her slink back to Galt or wherever else she wants. But if she sets foot in our lands again, she'll have only herself to blame. Although, after learning about her tricks, no one else will trust her. Something else has come up. We need to discuss the new trainees. Recruitment needs to be... What's that noise? Who's making trouble? Your Grace, your hour has come. That didn't sound quite right. I mean, it's your time to shine, to show off a bit even. Your subjects require your protection. Will you refuse the pitiable creatures a heroic feat? You're the pitiable creature. Now stop fussing and be quiet. I'll explain everything myself. A woman wearing simple peasant clothes steps forward, pushing Gunderson aside. Your Grace, I am Svetislava. I am from the village of Old Stump. We've lived here a long time and always minded our own business. But since you started to rule here, we became, as it turns out, your subjects. Well, we paid our taxes on time and brought you grain and meat. But now woe has come upon us, so it's your turn to prove that you're good for more than collecting taxes. I honor my duties to my subjects. What has happened? Do you remember, Your Grace, that unforgettable day of our first acquaintance, when we met those terrible but, in a way, quite amazing creatures? Well, why do you keep butting in, you rattlebox? You keep quiet. I'm not dumb. I can talk. So, Your Grace, woe has come upon us. Dead cyclopes have risen from their graves and are moving slowly towards our village. If you don't help us, they'll gobble all of us up in no time. Willis, you seem nervous. What is it? Willis looks away. Well, how do I put this? I think to a certain extent, I may be partially responsible for what's going on, metaphorically speaking, because I was the first to be attacked by the Cyclopes, you know. What if I'm the one who brought them here? It's unlikely, I know, unless they're here to reclaim that bracelet, haha. But calm down, the Cyclopes are our problem, and we're going to solve it. I'll lead a party personally. Retcon, choose the best of the Varnling host. We march at once. The others will remain here, ready for battle, in case these Cyclopes come here too. Zombie Cyclopes. I'd say it's unheard of, but as this young man pointed out, we've already met them once, and that means we might meet them again. If we're to protect the barony, we'll need to find out more about them. I will go with you. We must try to discover where they came from, and what we can do to stop them. Thank you, Your Grace. There is another problem, though. The village woman lowers her voice. These zombie clopies, they have the power to control a person's mind. When the monsters came, some of our people became insane. They began to worship them. You must do something about these lunatics, or they'll kill us all themselves. Thank you for the warning. We'll do whatever it takes to help your village. Retcon, Cecil, are you ready? Actually, we do have a couple of things we have to take care of. I need to prepare. Don't take too long. Okay, first things first. Brother Olaf has caught up with us, so let's take care of his level up real quick. He's a cleric, so this is about as straightforward as it gets. Oh, and it looks like we do get to investigate Blackstone Ford. As for his feat, we'll keep him focused on enchantment. That's pretty much his thing. He also gets a new batch of spells to play with, but I'll take a look at those off-screen. Oh, speaking of which, let's hit the pause button real quick. I'd like to take another look at old Ignash's inventory. I might purchase a few more spells for Cecil's spellbook, and we do need to rest to actually update all of our current spell slots. We'll be right back. Varn gives you a friendly nod. News, or are you just here for a chat? I am ready to march. Let's go to Old Stump. Not the most suitable name to add to the Chronicles. The battle at Old Stump doesn't sound terribly heroic. Are you quite sure? Yes, I am ready to set off at once. All right, General, we're leaving.
Cannibals? In my lands? I can't believe it. Just let me get my hands on the scum, I'll have their heads.
You're right to withhold judgment on unproven accusations. Your job is to find out the truth and conduct a fair trial. You cannot pronounce a sentence unless you ascertain there was a crime.
Looks like we stopped at Blackstone Ford first. Unexpected.
At your service.
Alright, let's toss up a few buffs and we'll have a look around.
I stand ready.
We should move.
I tire of waiting.
We have to get those taskbars cleaned up too, but we'll worry about that a little later. To Blackstone's Ford and in.
It is done. No stopping now.
Alright, guess that's why they call it Blackstone Ford. Three people are sitting at a table in a tense silence. An old couple and a young man. They turn to you suddenly, making little effort to conceal their dismay. Good afternoon. Am I interrupting something? No, not at all. Welcome, dear guests. Please sit down. How can we help you? Would you like to have dinner? Or maybe a room for the night? Make sure not to order any meat. I heard it's strange here. I'm afraid we don't have any meat, only cabbage soup. And bread, but the bread is fresh. Are you sure you're all right? Yes, of course. Don't worry about a thing. Then I suppose you won't mind if my people take a look around your inn. By the way, I forgot to introduce myself. Baron Varn, the Baron of these lands. I've heard rumor that guests at your inn are treated rather badly. But surely this must be idle gossip. The old man looks at the old woman, then you, and then turns his eyes back to Magar. Yes, of course. Please, look around. I assure you, everything here is in order. Magar turns to you and winks surreptitiously. Cecil and I will remain here just in case, to keep an eye on everyone. You have a look around. And if you have any questions, I'm sure our dear hosts will be happy to answer them. Who are you? I am Mitko Bragic, and this is my wife Kalina. We came from, Brevoy, wanted to move someplace new, and we opened this inn. Right, there are lots of passers-by here, settlers, merchants, and we thought an inn by a ford would be sure to have a regular flow of guests. And treating our guests badly. Why, that's slander, I swear by all the gods. We value our reputation. So, who are you, and what are you doing here? I'm Yorgesh, a simple merchant from Restov. I'm on my way to Galt to trade. I've been here before and never had any problems. The beds are warm, the food is good, and the roof doesn't leak. I'll go and see what I can find. Keep your eyes peeled. Any evidence might be important. Well, it looks like we're conducting another investigation. Alright, let's start with these containers. I have to say, I appreciate the less conventional adventures. It's a nice change of pace from the non-stop combat.
Check that out.
That does seem strange. The dog has a large wound, which has barely begun to heal. There's an open book on the ground. You can swear the dog has been intently studying its pages. You know what? I think we'll upgrade that to very strange. In fact, I might even go so far as to call that downright unsettling. Let's keep looking around.
Onwards.
We've got a bag.
Interesting.
Just more vendor trash.
March on.
A little chest filled with bottles of sleeping potion, or at least so the labels say. The bag holds a Brevik Traveler's Scroll, issued to Yorgesh Bragik. The chests in the cart are empty. Except, that is, for the sleeping potions.
No stopping now.
You know, these guys aren't very good at looking innocent. Aha! Ugh, a trap. And of course, Magar Varn is sitting on the sidelines for this. Well, that's fine. That's why we've been doubling up on trickery.
Done.
There's something here.
Okay. Rat swarms. Never fought those before.
Our time has come.
Let's see if we can lock these things down. Nice. Let's just ease our way around this trap. Not even sure we can hurt these things, but we'll have to give it a shot. Oh, well, that was, certainly a lot easier than I was expecting.
I've failed.
Odds are in his favor. I hate to pass up that much XP. Okay, let's take out the rest of these traps. Ah, should have seen that coming.
Impossible.
Come on, Averos.
Completed.
Nice.
Done.
It is done.
I was successful in my search.
The old couple were killed a day or two ago. Their throats have been ripped out.
What's that?
A little key, smeared with blood and mud.
Follow me.
I will not falter.
A shame we missed that 500 XP on the trap, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Well, let's finish looking around.
No stopping now. Onwards.
Okay, I think that's everything outside, so let's head on in. That was quick. There's a tiny keyhole on the inside of the shelf. Oh my. Dead bodies, preserved well in the cold. Some have been butchered like cows. You know what? I normally take anything that's not nailed down, but let's just leave that where it is.
That was easy.
The little chest holds a few empty and unlabeled bottles. Looking closer, you identify the last drops in one of them as a sleeping potion. Just like the ones that Yorgesh had in his cart. I think we've pretty much got everything we need at this point, but we might as well finish doing a full sweep.
It is done.
Clothes, jewelry, and personal items of different sizes and styles. You see bloodstains on some of them. A wand which allows its user to take on the appearance of a humanoid. Its power is depleted. Alright, I think we're done here. Let's go have a chat with Magar. Well, have you looked around? Have you found anything? I've inspected the area, and I'm ready to report my findings. Great, let's hear what my people have managed to find out. The old people exchange nervous glances. So, what did you manage to find out? I found proof that guests were robbed and murdered at this inn. A serious accusation. What evidence is this? The bodies of guests in a secret larder. Some of them are butchered like cows. How horrible. With such evidence, we needn't look any further. You've caught them red-handed. So, the drunken bard wasn't making it up after all. They really do murder guests here. I would have liked to hope that the part about eating their flesh would turn out to be a fool's embellishment. But it's a hope I'm quickly losing. This young man is no passing merchant. He's in collusion with the owners of the inn. What? Me? How dare you accuse me of such a thing? You can't have any proof. You hid your surname from us. Yorgesh Bragic. You're related to the owners of this inn. I am not. It's a very common name. Every third person in Restov is a Bragic. This is suspicious, but doesn't form sufficient grounds for an arrest. Do you have any other evidence against him? There's a little chest full of bottles of sleeping potion in his cart. The very same sort of bottles as there are here in the kitchen. Sleeping potion sells well. Many suffer from insomnia in this dreadful land, and no wonder, we're surrounded by Cyclops cemeteries. Yes, this goes beyond mere coincidence. Will you confess, or shall I give you to my friend Cecil? Cecil nods gravely. I strongly recommend the second option. I am sorely lacking in assistance for my scientific research. The man slumps his head down. I admit it, I'm guilty of selling the loot. My parents have been living in this backwater for a long time, hunting and housing travelers. But they got old, lost their strength, couldn't hunt anymore. They didn't want to leave, no matter how much I tried to convince them. The lands here are wild, and travelers are rare. If someone goes missing, no one comes looking for them. So, they decided to lure passing merchants into spending the night, only to kill them and keep their riches. And the bodies, they kept them too. They can hardly hunt, you know, my folks. The man wipes sweat from his forehead with trembling hands. But I didn't kill anyone, I swear. I only helped them to sell the loot. They're my parents, you know. I couldn't just leave them. But these people are not my parents. Yorgesh points at the old couple. They look the same, but they're not. I can feel it in my gut. Abhorrent. Magar barely keeps from spitting on the floor. A trial will determine your guilt and what punishment you deserve. Cecil, lock this Yorgesh in the attic. Just make sure he has enough food to last a week. We'll collect him on our way back to Varnhold. Meanwhile, the confessions of this scumbag have revealed much of interest, haven't they? I don't know who these people are, but they're definitely not who they pretend to be. Really, what makes you think that? I found the bodies of the real Mitko and Kalina Bragic. Their throats have been torn out. The old couple exchange glances, then sigh and shed the illusion. The creatures standing in front of you resemble humans only remotely. They are lycanthropes. Please hear us out. This is not our fault. Quiet. Magar, wait. I have other evidence. Magar hesitates, but then nods. So, these are lycanthropes. What else did you manage to find out? Let's hear these lycanthropes out. I suppose they must have something to say in their defense. I've little doubt they have something to say, but why do you think we should listen to their excuses, or believe so much as a squeak that comes from their filthy maws? I discovered and inspected the bodies in the larder, and the corpses of the real owners. The bodies in the larder have been there for many months. Judging by the corpses of the real innkeepers, they only died a day or two ago. I still don't understand why you're defending these monsters, but your reasoning is sound. Fine, I'll give these creatures a chance. Hey, you two, what can you say in your defense? We really did kill the old people, but we had to. We were only defending ourselves. We came here in human form as guests, and they drugged us with a sleeping potion and tried to kill us. Those old people wounded one of us, the one who's pretending to be a dog. We killed them, but only to save ourselves. We believed we could live alongside people in peace. Have you heard about Trobold in the Shrike Hills? Trolls and kobolds have built a kingdom and lived next to people as friends and neighbors. Couldn't we do the same? We only stayed here to give our wounded friend a chance to heal, but then guests came. It was probably a bad idea to pretend to be the murdering hosts, but we didn't have time to think of something better. Varn shakes his head, astonished. I can't believe my ears. Well, no matter how unbelievable it seems, I must admit that these creatures are innocent. Well, now everything is clear. The former innkeepers used to kill their guests. Their son helped them by selling the loot, and the lycanthropes are only guilty of self-defense. Great work, Retcon. You got to the bottom of this complicated story, as if you've been doing it all your life. Well done. Magar nods. Well, lycanthropes, what's your next move? I'm sorry your first attempt at living peacefully alongside people came to such a sad ending. There are beasts even among ordinary people. We understand. If you would allow it, Baron, we would like to live in your capital. We will maintain our human appearance and lead human lives. Let's give each other another chance for peace. So be it. When I return to the capital, I'll see to it that you have a roof over your head and a job. Here in the Stolen Lands, even the most unexpected alliances become possible. If you truly want peace, I won't refuse you. Now let's go. We have a lot of work to do.
Enough marching for today. Set up camp.
Wow, we've got another set of level ups to play with. Though half the party is trailing behind us at this point. We'll just stay focused on camping for the moment.
For many centuries, the dead Cyclops have slept peacefully in their graves. Oh, why did they have to wake up now when we showed up?
Looks like an act of magical sabotage to me. And guess who the prime suspect is? Our dear western neighbor. Now that our wastelands have been turned into farmlands, Dunsward has become a tasty pie, and everyone wants a piece.
Dunsward pie. Alright, folks. I think we're at a pretty good stopping point for now. We thwarted a revolution, we solved a murder mystery, and we got another set of level ups, so I think it's been a pretty productive session overall. Anyway, we'll hit the pause button for now, but we'll pick up here next time, as we take care of those new level ups, and begin our investigation into the village of Old Stump. See you then. Oh, and remember, Although I do love playing Pathfinder Kingmaker, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official YouTube channel, the official Discord server, the official Facebook page, the official Twitter feed, the fan run wiki, or the original crowdfunding campaign over on Kickstarter. Links are in the description.